In this tutorial, we will learn how to animate our object and bring them to life. So let's not waste a minute and let's get started. Let's start the animation with the screen to create a transition between the footage and our VFX animation. Okay, let's return all the objects to the scene. Then go to the first frame, press I, and select location and rotation. Now we have created a keyframe and apply the rotation and screen position. Then go to the frame 40. Now move the screen along the Z-axis and create a keyframe again. And this is what we have right now. Also, as you can see, we have overlapping here. So just select these vertices in edit mode and scale them. And now the problem is solved. Also here I need to apply the raw material for this face. Okay, let's go to the frame 62, select our bottle and move it inside the room. Somewhere here, so we can't see it from the camera. And we also need to move all objects there. And then apply location and rotation to each one by pressing I. After that, we need to go to frame 80 or 100. Then go to the top view and move the bottle towards the camera. And also we can rotate it towards the camera. The closer we bring an object to the camera, the larger it will be. And also, if you look at the label, we need to rotate it slightly by pressing R and X 2 times. And then apply location and rotation. And animation is too fast, so let's move this frame further. And if we play animation, we can see these kinds of problems. And to fix that, we need to go to the frame in the middle, move the bottle up, and apply a keyframe. And here what we have for now. Now let's animate the eyes. And here we should do the same. So go to the 62 frame, create a keyframe. After that, we need to go to frame 80 or 100, move eyes toward the camera, rotate it, and go to the frame in the middle, move the eyes up, apply a keyframe. And after we are happy with the result, we can duplicate the ice cube, then go to the last keyframe and change the position and rotation of the cube. And apply location and rotation. Next, we can set the keyframe in the middle. And also change the position of the first keyframe. And I want this ice cube to appear a little later than the bottle, so to do this we need to select all keyframes for this cube and move them further on the timeline. And for this scope, I will do the same. And here we go. Now let's create a floating effect for the bottle. So select the bottle, go to 20-30 frames further, move the bottle down and apply the rotation and location. Again, go to 20-30 frames further on timeline. And now move the bottle up and apply location and rotation. And animation is too fast, so let's move the keyframes. And when we are satisfied with the result, just copy and paste the last two keyframes every 30-40 keyframes. And if necessary, move the keyframes. And this is what we got in the end. Okay, let's create an animation for the ice cube. So go to the keyframe 170 or 200, move the cube towards the camera a little, and apply the location. And when we are satisfied with the result, we can rotate it and apply flotation. And for this cube, we need to do the same. And this is what we got in the end. Okay, let's create an animation for the strawberry. I haven't framed the strawberries before, so I'll do that right now. Just go to frame 90 or 80 and apply the location. Then move to any other frame, and by pressing Shift plus Ctrl plus Z, we can move the strawberry towards the camera, as well as rotate it and set a keyframe. I moved the last keyframe, and then between those keyframes, we need to move the strawberry to the right and set a keyframe. And here we need to fix the overlap by moving it up and applying the keyframe. Okay, then select any next keyframe, move it to the left side of the room, and apply the changes. This will be the end of the animation, and if you have overlap, just fix it by moving it up. And as you can see here, the strawberry is moving sharply. If we look at the animation of the strawberry from above, we can see why this is happening. So to make the animation smoother, let's move it here, making this angle of the strawberry animation not so sharp. Okay, let's move it a little more to the right. And also remove this keyframe. And if necessary, we can slow down the animation by moving the keyframes. And let's see what we got here. It looks good, but we need to fix the overlap here. This is an optional step, but I think the strawberry is moving too fast. So I will select all the keyframes and just scale them and move them a little further. And here in the middle of the animation, I want to create a cool slow motion effect. So to do that, we need to set the keyframes 5 frames before and further than this middle keyframe. Then we need to select them all and scale. And yeah, I scaled it too much, but you can play around and see what works best for you. And here we go. Now, the last thing we need for strawberry animation is rotation. And move to the first keyframe, rotate it, and set the keyframe. And go to the middle keyframe and just set the rotation. And you can just copy and paste that keyframe to the last one. And this is what we have at the end. I think the whole animation will end when the strawberry returns to the room, so I will move the keyframes for the eyes. Alright, in the same way, we need to animate the banana slice. Just move banana, rotate it, and apply the keyframe. Then duplicate if you want to add more than one slice to a scene, and just change the location and the rotation of the keyframes. For the rest of the banana animation, I will just rotate it on Z-axis in one way, apply the keyframe, then move 20-40 frames further, timeline, rotate it to the other side, and also apply the keyframe. And after we are happy with the result, we just copy-paste the last 2 keyframes. And for the second banana slice, I will do exactly the same. Alright, and the last object we need to animate is the apple. And as you can see, the animation process is very straightforward, and you just need to understand the principles of how it works. The apple appearing, I will animate it the same way. And for the rest of the animation, I will just rotate it on the axis to the bottle. Alright, the animation is almost ready, and we need to make sure that the last keyframe on fruits and bottle are ending on the one frame. In my case, I choose the frame 320. And on the frame 350, I need to return all objects to the room. So, for example, in the bottle, we need to copy first frame and paste it to the frame 350. And also fix the problem with overlapping, if you have one. And the same thing we need to do with other objects. But if you don't have applied location keyframe on the frame 320, like this banana slice, you'll have some troubles. So just go to the 320 frame and set a location keyframe. And for safety, you can do that for all of the objects. And again, we need to do that with all the objects. Alright, and here is the result that we got in the end. Now let's animate the screen again and move it back on the axis. So go to the frame 350, then select the last keyframe and copy and paste it. After that, copy the first keyframe and paste it 30 or 40 frames further. And here's what we got in the end. And now let's add extra appearance to our animation and create a milk stream. And to do that, we need to press Shift plus A and create a Bezier curve. And in edit mode, select this point and rotate it on 45 degrees on the axis. And now let's create a plane. Scale it, and again scale it on x-axis. And after this, we need to add a couple of loop cuts. Bevel them, pressing Ctrl plus B. And next, select this edge, extrude it, and this edge also, in this way. And if we click here, we will be able to glue vertices. Let me show you. If we grab this vertex and move to this one with Ctrl held down, we will glue them. And the same thing we need to do here. Okay, also let's add a loop cut in the middle and make this plane a little longer. And this is what we have for now. Also, we can duplicate these faces and place them randomly, and they will serve us as a drop of milk. And after we are satisfied with the result, we need to add array modifier and increase count. Also, we need to add solidify to add thickness. Play around with thickness parameter, and after you're done, let's add subdivision surface modifier. Feel free to play with parameters until you are satisfied with the result. And if you have this problem with array, just click on merge in array modifier and it will be gone. And the last modifier we need to add is curve. And as a curve object, we need to select our Bezier curve. And now when we select our curve and in edit mode move any vertex, the plane will repeat the shape of the curve. Alright, now we need to select curve and then with shift select milk stream and click Ctrl plus P and select object keep transform. And this will allow us to avoid problems with curve while moving it. So select milk stream and rotate it on 90 degrees and place it inside of the room. Now let's select the curve, and in edit mode by extruding and moving the vertices, we can create the path for the milk stream. Okay, and here what I've got at the end. And to animate the milk flow, we need first select the curve and press Alt plus P and select Clear Parents and keep transformation. And then select the milk flow. Press G and X 2 times. And in that way we can animate the flow. Also, if we select the vertex in curve and pressing Ctrl plus T, we can bend it, which will allow us to add more appealing look to the animation. Alright, let's add the keyframes to the milk flow. So select it, move it like this, and add a keyframe for location. And the second keyframe will be at the end of the animation. So let's move the flow to the end and add location keyframe. And here's what we got at the end. Looks great, but I think we can make it even better. Select all object except of the screen. And if we grab here, we can create another window. And in this window, we need to go here and open a graph editor. And here we need to select all keyframes by pressing A. Then click T and choose Bezier. And animation already should look slightly different. But if you press A in this window, then go here and choose individual centers and scale it, we will see that our animation is much smoother and eye-pleasant. Only now we have issue with milk flow. So let's fix that by moving it and setting a keyframe. Just select it, press G, X, X, and move it a little bit. And here we go, our animation is ready. I also decided to change the label, and what I did, I just changed the picture of the label.